This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick. What's going on?
Oh, hey, John, it's going good.
Right.
It's like I just want to say that this time, well, for this week's episode, we're going back to that inexhaustible well, like a subject matter that is the Star Wars comics.
Oh, yeah. You know, Star Wars just came out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it did.
With even more hacks.
Even more changes. I mean, it's like so many changes that it even pissed off Hitler.
Yeah, right. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't buy them because, well, I bought a set of DVDs with Star Wars, and I'm not really interested in rebuying it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's like I still need to pick up the original theatrical editions on DVD.
But you're right about it being an inexhaustible well.
Yes, yeah, because I mean, like Dark Horse keeps producing lots of Star Wars comics, and generally, like most of them are generally pretty good. I mean, even though I stopped buying them for a while, it's like since I stopped buying them and started buying them, I now own even more than I did when I stopped buying them.
Wow.
So obviously, someone must be doing something right there. Yeah, and this week takes me to like one of the series I picked up at Comic-Con, because yes, there's also an inexhaustible well that is like this year's Comic-Con, which I'm still reading through the comics I got there. And after a buddy of mine recommended to me the Dark Times series, I figured, hey, you know what? After I found volumes 1 through 4, at one in my half off bin raids, I figured, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up right now because it's only 3 volumes. So, the thing is with Dark Times though is that it's like even if you think that Dark Horse kind of like overproduces like their Star Wars comics, and I'll get back to that in a second because this series kind of ties into that theme right there. They at least do a good job of making each series distinct. Because like the thing is, like for longtime readers will realize that now that I'm talking about Dark Times, I'm now talking about 3 of the 4 series that make up their vector crossover. So I'm thinking like, hey, it's like now I've got this. At some point, I probably should just pick up the Rebellion series and just make the circle complete. Anyway, so now but with Dark Times though, it's like a buddy of mine recommended this to me because it basically focuses on the adventures of Jedi Dastanir and his exploits after the fall of the Republic. Now, if you've read the Clone Wars series, Volume 9 basically features like what is effectively called the 0 issue of this series. It introduces Dastanir, sets up the worldview for this series. Basically, that the Jedi, it's like the Jedi order is no more. It's like the Empire. The Empire is now merged on the scene. They're selling the story that the Jedi turned on the Republic during the end of the Clone Wars, and they had to be put down. So now the Jedi are feared and are hated and feared like Marvel's Merry Mutants, because like I can't stop talking about the X-Men as well. And now they've got the Jedi just running scared from Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. Now, Volume 1 is basically picks up with Janir as he's leading the as he's falling in with the what are these guys called? As he's falling in with the inhabitants of New Plimto and trying to save their inhabitants. It's like as the Imperial troops close in on their location. He's working with this buddy Bomo Greenback, who saved his life by not killing him when Order 66 was handed down. And so now Bomo's trying to save his friends. Janir's trying to save as many people as he can. They both kind of fail after in the final assault by the Imperial troops. This event, now while they both survive, they wind up falling with a bunch of smugglers, and essentially finding out that while Bomo tried to save his family, they were eventually caught by the Imperials and sold into slavery. Now, this is the main thrust of the arc for Volume 1, which basically has Janier Bowman and the smugglers. I'm trying to I'm following it. I'm trying to track down Bomo's family, and eventually it's like in hopes of eventually rescuing them. Now this is paralleled by by Darth Vader's own arc as well. Because Vader, it's like he's basically the number 2 man in the galaxy right now, but still he's not quite like the soulless badass we knew when he was introduced back in Episode 4. Like he's still got some of like Anakin Skywalker in him, especially when he finds out that the inhabitants of New Plimto were sold into slavery, which is basically, hey, Darth Vader, before as Anakin Skywalker, used to be a slave. Now my master is selling people in slavery. What's going on here? So it's like you've got Vader. It's an interesting time because Vader, he's still getting into he's still becoming the Sith Lord that we all know and fear from the original trilogy, and it's a nice little. And it's a good character arc because series writer Mick Harrison plays off that later. So while I mentioned the writer Mick Harrison, the real star of the series, at least for volumes 1, 3, and 4, is artist Doug Wheatley. And Wheatley is a gorgeous artist. I mean, there are some artists who I think are really I've really appreciated over the years in their depiction of the Star Wars universe. I mean, John Nadeau did a great job picking the hardware in the X-Wing series. Jan Duursema did a great job with the Clone Wars and Legacy, working with her husband John Ostrander. She's got some great style right there, but even for her later stuff seems a bit too photorealistic for to be AAA list status right there. And Brian Ching on the Knights of the Old Republic, who was good enough to be headhunted by Marvel later to this day. But Wheatley, I mean, his stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you're looking at his stuff. There's a detail, there's a sense of realism, photorealism even that doesn't distract from appreciation of his work. I mean, it's on full display in Volume 1 from the fights. From the fight scenes to the scenes of character interaction, and even Darth Vader, just talking and finding out what's up with the slaves. I mean, it's great stuff, and it's truly beautiful. But the problem is, I mean, I know for a lot of people who've read this in single issues, that this series came out almost as frequently as an issue of Marvel's The Ultimates, back in the days when Brian Hitch was illustrating it. And I can imagine that's probably why the series isn't continuing as an ongoing series, why it's just a series of miniseries now. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, Volume 1 is overall it's a great story of moral compromise, as Janier slowly finds himself sacrificing his Jedi beliefs in order to help out his friend and forge a new path in this new world. Eventually, it's things reach a breaking point at the end, but still it feels believable, and I like where things set up. I mean, even it's a breaking point, it's still potential for new stories. This continues on in Volume 2, where Bomo and his smuggler friends wind up trying to sell off this one particular item of value to one of to another individual of ill repute, and things wind up going bad. The main thread right here is Bomo eventually, just being kind of an outsider with the smugglers, but eventually, finding an in with them as he winds up collectively saving their asses over the course of the series. Readers of the Clone Wars series and also Ostrander's Legacy will also find some stuff to be amused by the appearance of Master Kirk, who shows up here in a parallel plot line that as he and one of his apprentices wind up having to save a bunch of younglings and eventually trying to save them from some slavers who also intersect with them from the main plot as well. it's a huge coincidence for these two plots to intersect, but still, it's like if you're going to put them in the same volume, then there has to be some reason for them to tie together. So it's good stuff. But like things get, and then volume 3 is basically the first volume of Star Wars Vector, and reading it now with the background of volumes 1 and 2 of Dark Times in there. It's like it still makes me appreciate like how well planned this whole story, this whole crossover was. I mean, it's like this whole it's like you get the feeling that they told writer Mick Harrison that hey, you need to introduce this like a mysterious artifact in order to so that we can set it up for sale in the crossover. But it works in seamlessly. So I mean, it's like as if you're reading Dark Times, and the Vector provides the necessary resolution to that particular plot thread from Volume 2, and it also involves another death of a crew member. Now that's the other thing with Dark Times. I mean, it could have, because the thing is, each thing is with each arc is like it involves like basically one member of the team basically either like splitting off from them or just outright dying. So like it could have descended into senseless miserableism. It's like if they hadn't had a good enough direction for this series. Now, I will say that so far, Volume 4, Blue Harvest, is probably my favorite of the series. Now, John, I just want to ask you, John, does the name Blue Harvest ring any bells for you?
Family Guy.
Okay, that's right. But where did Family Guy get it from? Huh? Riddle me that.
I don't know. Man, I don't know.
Okay, because Blue Harvest, for the scary hardcore Star Wars fans, they'll know that this is the title that Return of the Jedi was shooting under. Yeah, because John, like next time you hang out with Sebastian, you have to quiz him on that to see if see if he can get this too.
Copy that, I will. Haha. Maybe I'll make a bet.
Yeah, you have to only know how that turns out if I'm not there. Yeah, but the thing is with Blue Harvest though, I mean Blue Harvest is really, even though it's got that whole kind of that connotation of history, it's still like it essentially amounts no more than the fact that the story circles back to Darth Janier, and he's taken on a bunch of characters who have blue skins here. That's the extent of the tie-in here. But the thing is with Blue Harvest is that it takes a time-honored story. Now, basically like a time-honored story premise. Now, basically, if you've seen Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, or like more specific to us, Clint Eastwood or Sergio Leone's spaghetti remake of it, in spaghetti western remake of it in A Fistful of Dollars. This is basically taking that familiar premise of two gangs taking over a town, going head to head with each other, and then mysterious stranger coming in to settle things and take out the gangs. Now, the mysterious stranger in this case is Darth Janier. Now, Janier is kind of like really down on his luck. He's sporting a beard. It's like a beard and overgrowth of hair of shame. It's like here, and when he finds out about he's got a store a mission that allows him to hey, I can help free this town from the grip of slavers. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and take this up. But then he realizes that hey, the person who's the lady who sold me on this job, she may not be telling the entire story. Now that's the thing I like about this particular volume, is that it shows Janier to be not only like not just like a shameless dupe, but also a guy who is clever enough to know when he's being played and know enough to find a way around it. That's still not enough to save him from a savage beating over the course of the volume, but it's still like immense amount of fun to watch him play both sides against each other. It's like take on the chaos that results, because even though Janier has been forced to compromise his Jedi beliefs like throughout the first volume. Here he finds something that he can really believe in and fight for, and it's like, and even though it's like because as much as I love this volume, it's like the problem is at the very end, it's like you get to it, and it's like, wait, this is the end. Where's the final issue? I mean, like, isn't there more? You're not going to yeah, we know he's going to go and kick everyone's ass, but where's the proper fucking ending here, people? Come on! I mean, it's like, that's the feeling I got when I got to the end of this volume. Now it's like, this was essentially this is like issue 15 of the no, wait, not bad, issue 17 of the Dark Times series, and ostensibly like that was going to be the end of it, because the thing is, like, as great as Doug Wheatley's art is, and he's back in full force for Blue Harvest, and he looks great no matter which colorist is handling him. It's truly beautiful stuff. It's like you get the feeling that the work required to deliver this beauty essentially basically completely ruined the schedule for this series, because it was truly terrible looking at how each issue came out. So basically looking at this right here, I mean, it's like you get the feeling that this might have been the end, and if it had, I would have, like, I'd tell you just like, no, don't fucking buy this. It's just like a huge disappointment at the end. But Dark Horse is currently putting out another series for Dark Times called Out of the Wilderness. Now, I think that's a good thing, and personally, I like what Mick Harrison has done with the series. Based on the series schedule, I wouldn't mind if this series was the last one. If they just like tied it off, or if this is going to be the end of it, cool. But I guess repurposing the series as a series of miniseries, which is what they've essentially done for with Star Wars like Invasion series, then that's probably for the best. But still, it's overall, I mean, the series is a compelling look at a particular period in Star Wars history, and it tells some compelling stories as well. I mean, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be what series is going to be enough to entice non-Star Wars fans here. But really, it's like, if you like great art, then I will recommend. Then Doug Wheatley's work is worth picking up at least Volume 1 for, so you can just gaze at how the man truly gets the Star Wars universe right here. So I can promise you I will be back with with a review of Out of the Wilderness once it finally hits trade paperback. And and also, like this, I can tell you right now, this is going to be the last Star Wars podcast to do for it, because as soon as Star Wars Legacy War hits trade paperback, I'm hitting that up for a retrospective. As soon as that happens. But that's probably not going to happen until I think January. So you got a nice respite from me talking about Star Wars again. So in the end, it's Dark Times. If you've liked all the Star Wars series I've talked about so far, with Knights of the Old Republic, Legacy, the Clone Wars, still we're well worth picking up. Absolutely at half price. It's also if you can get it at the Amazon discount as well. So good stuff. Like everyone else, well, I can imagine you saw everyone else. I imagine they just saw Star Wars and are just gonna wait till see what I talk about in 2 weeks. As for what I talk about in 2 weeks, well, that's going to be a surprise to me and you, because I'm sure I'll figure out something, but I'll be back with it then.
All right, cool. Is that
all right.
about it?
That's it, John.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time on
All right.
Felix Comic Picks. See you later. Bye.
Bye.